What if golf's golden boy isn't as spotless as everyone thinks? Scottie Scheffler, the calm, soft-spoken Texan who became the poster child for PGA loyalty, has always been praised as the man who never flinched when LIV Golf threw around hundreds of millions. While Phil Mickelson, Koepka, and Dustin Johnson chased the cash, Scheffler supposedly stood tall, the tour's shining saint. But what if that story's got a dark twist? Rumors are spinning about a secret $5 million side deal with LIV Golf. A quiet offer that never made headlines, never hit the press, and supposedly vanished before anyone could trace it. Was Scheffler really the hero of resistance, or just smart enough to keep his options open? And if that rumor's true, what does it say about the one player fans thought was untouchable? In golf, loyalty is priceless until somebody slaps a price tag on it. When LIV Golf started poaching stars with jaw-dropping contracts, Scottie Scheffler became the PGA Tour's poster boy for staying true. While headlines screamed about Dustin Johnson's nine-figure payday or Phil Mickelson's explosive jump to LIV, Scheffler stood still, the golden standard of loyalty. Fans adored him for it. He wasn't loud or flashy, didn't chase luxury jets or endorsement hype, just a calm, grounded Texan spending time with his wife and close circle. To millions, he was golf's purity personified. But behind that clean-cut image, there might have been another side. A side that wasn't so calm, so simple, or so innocent after all. The PGA Tour needed him to stay, badly. He was young, ranked #1 in the world, and gave the tour the credibility it was desperate for when LIV's money looked too tempting to resist. In golf's fight for its soul, Scottie Scheffler wasn't just a competitor. He was the poster boy for purity. That's exactly why the rumors of a secret deal cut so deep. Because if even he was tempted, then nobody was truly safe from LIV's reach. And those whispers? They didn't start on ESPN or Golf Channel. Oh no, they crept out from the dark corners of fan forums, late-night Twitter threads, and golf gossip podcasts that live off the drama. Hidden between wild speculations about who LIV would target next, one name started showing up again and again: Scottie Scheffler. At first, nobody bought it. Scheffler was the one guy everyone thought was untouchable. But then the timing started raising eyebrows. Rumors of quiet, closed-door meetings popped up right when LIV Golf's money game was at its craziest. The same stretch when Koepka and Cameron Smith shocked the world by jumping ship. The story floating around was wild. While Scheffler publicly brushed off LIV, his reps were allegedly feeling things out behind the curtain. The whispers said he never seriously planned to join, but he was smart enough to listen. I mean, who turns down life-changing money without at least hearing the pitch? That's when the number first appeared: $5 million. A supposed keep-in-touch payment, designed to keep the lines open and the temptation alive. As the story spread, fans split fast. Some called it total nonsense, a hit job from LIV sympathizers trying to drag down golf's cleanest star. Others weren't so sure. The timing felt too perfect. Right after LIV's record payouts hit the news, suddenly whispers about Scheffler's private talks started swirling again. Coincidence? Or a carefully timed leak? What really got people talking were the details, too specific to ignore. Mentions of secret calls, quiet dinner meetings in Dallas, even talk of a courtesy payment wired through a third party. None of it confirmed, of course. But it didn't have to be. In the world of golf gossip, once smoke appears, everyone starts searching for the fire. And this time, the smoke was hanging right over Scottie's spotless reputation. Meanwhile, the PGA Tour stayed silent. Completely silent. No statements, no denials, just tight lips and nervous smiles. It's almost like they didn't want to touch the topic at all. Some insiders whispered that the tour couldn't afford another scandal, not with sponsors already nervous after the LIV invasion. Scheffler was their anchor, their symbol of honor and discipline, and any crack in that image could shatter everything. But that silence only made fans dig deeper. Reddit threads exploded, podcasts started connecting dots, and YouTube channels dove headfirst into the mystery. The idea that even golf's golden boy might have been tempted by LIV money had fans questioning the entire sport's morality. If Scottie could be bought even for a second, then who couldn't? Then came the twist nobody expected. A former LIV insider, anonymous but bold, went on a podcast and dropped a bombshell. They claimed there was contact between Scheffler's team and LIV, but the deal collapsed after details leaked internally. According to this mystery source, the $5 million wasn't a bribe. It was a holding offer to secure interest before the next LIV expansion round. If true, that meant Scheffler didn't betray the PGA, but he definitely played both sides. Fans lost their minds. Was he being strategic, protecting his value, or was this the start of a double life behind golf's cleanest smile? Either way, the myth of untouchable loyalty cracked wide open. Because sometimes the price of staying pure is knowing how close you came to falling. It wasn't a contract, not even an obligation, just a secret retainer that would disappear the second it went public. At first, everyone brushed it off as wild conspiracy talk. But months later, the rumor refused to die. It got louder, sharper, and harder to ignore. Word on the street said LIV didn't just want Scottie Scheffler on their team, they wanted to make sure he'd never become the PGA's untouchable forever hero. Their supposed solution? A deal unlike anything golf had ever seen. Not a contract like Brooks or Bryson signed, but a $5 million insurance payment, hush money to keep him close but not committed. No long-term obligations, no need to swing a club in a live event, just quiet leverage to keep golf's golden face from shining too bright on the other side. Just a massive payday, quietly wired through middlemen, so the paper trail vanished into thin air. It wasn't about commitment, it was about keeping him listening. Think of it like buying time. If Scheffler ever started to doubt his stance, LIV wanted that door already cracked open. And for Scottie, it was pitched as a no-risk deal. Take the money, stay loyal to the PGA for now, and when the moment feels right, decide whether to cross that line. The concept was insane, paying someone millions just to not say no. But that was LIV's whole playbook. Rewrite the rules of loyalty by making it negotiable. Golf's honor code, suddenly worth whatever number you could wire. And here's where it gets wild. Some fans swore they saw clues. Because right after that alleged arrangement, strange things started happening around Scheffler. Whispers, sightings, and unexplained shifts that had golf watchers buzzing for months. The $5 million rumor lived quietly in golf's underground, until the so-called leaks hit. Out of nowhere, anonymous accounts started dropping screenshots. They claimed were draft contracts and email chains between LIV negotiators and someone close to Scheffler's circle. One image even showed the chilling phrase, non-binding retainer agreement, with a total that magically added up to $5 million. It spread like wildfire. For days, golf Twitter was pure chaos. Fans zooming in on font sizes, dissecting email signatures, and analyzing metadata from grainy PDFs like detectives on a mission. Some swore it was real proof that Scheffler at least listened to LIV's pitch. The buzz was electric, the drama non-stop. But then poof, it all disappeared. Posts deleted, accounts suspended, links mysteriously broken. Within a week, the digital trail had been wiped clean, leaving behind nothing but questions and suspicion. All that remained were digital crumbs, old Reddit threads referencing screenshots that didn't exist anymore. The evidence had been wiped so clean, it looked intentional. That sudden disappearance didn't kill the story, it ignited it. People started asking the real questions. Did Scheffler's lawyers step in? Did LIV scrub the trail to save face? Or was it all just an elaborate hoax that couldn't hold up once the spotlight hit? Whatever the truth was, one thing screamed louder than all the noise. If there was nothing to hide, why did everything vanish overnight? Behind closed doors, the PGA Tour definitely heard the chatter. Insiders hinted that whispers of Scheffler's alleged conversations did reach headquarters, and the timing, way too convenient. Because right after those rumors started swirling, something strange began happening behind the scenes. Things that made even the tour's top brass nervous to speak Scheffler's name too loud. Not long after, the PGA Tour suddenly rolled out massive prize purse increases and bonus pools that made jaws drop. Officially, they claimed it was just to stay competitive with LIV's billions. But insiders weren't buying it. Some whispered that Scheffler himself had quietly pushed the move. The theory, he'd seen LIV's offers up close, and warned PGA bosses that loyalty wasn't guaranteed, not even from him. Word spread fast in locker rooms. A few veterans started muttering that golf's golden boy wasn't quite as squeaky clean as the media painted him. One anonymous pro even hinted that the tour was protecting Scottie's image at all costs. Suddenly, that halo around his head looked a little crooked. Because if the tour really did cave to keep him happy, that wasn't loyalty anymore, that was business disguised as virtue. The PGA Tour feared a PR disaster if their most wholesome star got caught cutting side deals. But those whispers didn't stay locked behind boardroom doors. They leaked into locker rooms, where jealousy, envy, and suspicion were already simmering. And that's when fans started asking the question nobody wanted to touch. Did Scottie Scheffler actually take the money? That's where the rumor exploded. No longer just gossip, but a full-blown divide. On one side were the die-hard believers, fans who swore up and down that Scottie was incorruptible. To them, he was the perfect role model, a devoted husband, a grounded superstar, the kind of guy more likely to spend Sunday night at Bible study than at a live party in Miami. They called the $5 million story pure jealousy, cooked up by bitter rivals and bored fans. But then came the other side, the ones who didn't buy the fairy tale anymore. The doubters weren't so convinced. They started pointing at little changes that didn't quite make sense. Whispers about Scheffler suddenly flying private. Even rumors he'd bought into a fractional jet share after years of claiming he preferred to keep it simple. Then came the talk of new luxury practice facilities popping up in Texas. Upgrades that seemed to appear overnight. To skeptics, it all screamed one thing: hidden money. Because let's be real, even with all his PGA wins, those checks didn't explain everything. A secret $5 million sliding quietly into the mix? That would make a lot more sense. There were no receipts, no proof, just patterns. Subtle but suspicious. And those patterns had fans arguing hard. Was Scottie really golf's unbreakable symbol of loyalty, or just another player who finally found his price? And if Scheffler did take that secret deal, the bigger question became, why would LIV drop millions on a guy who never even left the tour? If the whispers were true, this wasn't just about Scottie pocketing $5 million. It was about the very soul of golf's biggest fight. The PGA's war with LIV wasn't just about money, it was about morals. Scheffler had been their poster boy for loyalty, the steady hand who stayed when everyone else chased the bag. But if he quietly accepted LIV's cash without ever teeing up for them, that would blow up the PGA's entire narrative. Because how could they keep preaching about integrity while their golden boy was allegedly cashing checks in secret? If true, that wouldn't just stain Scheffler's name, it would obliterate the PGA's moral high ground forever. It would prove once and for all that money talks louder than loyalty, no matter how clean the image looks. And the fallout wouldn't stop with Scheffler. Not even close. Because if he had a secret side deal, who else did? Rory? Spieth? Was the whole tour just one giant backroom negotiation while fans were fed a shiny fairy tale about loyalty and tradition? That's exactly why this rumor refuses to die. It isn't just about one golfer. It's about the truth behind golf's biggest war. Was the PGA versus LIV battle ever about principles, or was it always about money hiding behind a polished PR mask? Because if the loyalty line was nothing more than marketing spin, then what's left to believe in? And that's what makes the last question sting the most. After all this noise, no contract has ever surfaced. No documents, no emails, no receipts, just shadows and speculation. Every proof that surfaced vanished as fast as it appeared. But that's the thing about secrets in golf. The cleaner the reputation, the juicier the rumor. And Scheffler's image? It was spotless. Almost too spotless. That's why every whisper hit harder. Every no comment felt heavier. Every polite smile in an interview seemed like it might be hiding something. Still, not everyone's buying it. Some journalists insist the story's nothing but smoke with no fire. That LIV leaks fake bait all the time to stir chaos. But the silence from both sides kept feeding the storm. Because when nobody talks, imagination takes over. Was Scheffler protecting his peace or protecting something bigger? Either way, the rumor had already done its damage. The seed of doubt was planted, and it wasn't coming out anytime soon. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed the PGA was quietly running damage control. Contain the story, protect the brand, one anonymous staffer supposedly said. Because if even the whisper of a payoff stuck, it would crumble the tour's moral foundation faster than any LIV contract ever could. And that's the irony. Scheffler didn't have to take the money to lose something. All it took was doubt. Sponsors started getting cautious, media questions got sharper, and fans became divided. Some still defended him like a saint. Others watched every move like detectives. Every flight, every purchase, every word turned into a headline. Scheffler had become more than a player. He was a symbol of what golf was pretending to be. And symbols don't just play 18 holes. They carry the whole sport's reputation on their backs. And that's where golf found itself, torn between image and reality. The tour preaching loyalty, LIV buying power, and fans stuck wondering who was telling the truth. Because if Scottie Scheffler, the sport's cleanest soul, had even brushed close to that deal, then the moral compass of golf wasn't just spinning, it was shattered. The craziest part, Scheffler never said a word. No denial, no outrage. Just calm silence that only made the whole thing feel more suspicious. Maybe it was class, maybe it was strategy, or maybe it was guilt. The world may never know what really happened behind those closed doors. But one thing's clear, the legend of Scottie Scheffler's perfect loyalty will never sound the same again. No bank transfers, no hard proof, just whispers, deleted screenshots, and a trail of rumors that refuses to fade. Scottie Scheffler still stands, at least publicly, as the PGA Tour's golden boy. Loyal, humble, untouchable. But that lingering rumor of a $5 million LIV side deal hangs over him like a stubborn shadow. The kind of what-if fans just can't stop replaying in their heads. Maybe it was all smoke, no fire. Maybe jealous rivals planted it to chip away at his perfect image. Or maybe, just maybe, the truth got buried long before it ever reached daylight. Because in pro golf, money doesn't just talk. It rewrites the story. And if even Scottie Scheffler, golf's calm, clean symbol of loyalty, could be tempted, then maybe nobody's untouchable anymore. Not even the face of the PGA Tour. So what do you think, loyalty or illusion? Drop your take below, hit that like, share your thoughts, and subscribe to Golf Swing for more stories that prove even the cleanest swings can hide the dirtiest truths.